Hey, this is Donnie Vaughn of the Marketing Twins. Here's a tutorial that I'm going to do to talk to you about how to edit a page that you've already created. You've seen another tutorial where we added a page, but now we're going to edit a page. So the page I want to focus on is our Honduras page. We don't have any content on there just yet, and so I'm going to show you first off how to edit the page to get it with some information that we want on there. And this tutorial may take 2 parts. I don't know. We'll see how it goes on this. But here's how we have done these in the past, and this is probably a good process to set up for going forward. Okay, the first thing you want to do, obviously, is add the new page. We've already done that. So we have this Honduras page that has no content in it. I want to have the content look similar to previous renewals. So what we'll do is go over to our dashboard, and let's pull up and let's go to pages and edit. Now at this point, what I want to look for is I want to look to see if there are what we did on, let's say, Thailand. And so you can see down here you've got 2 pages. These are all the pages you've got on your website. There's 33 total. Some of these are seen, some of these are not seen because they're old, but it displays 20 of those right off the bat, and then the other 13 are on the second. So I'm going to go to the second one. You can do it that way, or if you can't find it right off the bat and you want to just type up your search, I could type Thailand. I could hit search, and let's see what that pulls up. And what it does is it looks for things related to the word Thailand. And so what I've got here is an application Thailand, and then I've got another Thailand page. And I believe the way we set these up was that you have a main page to go to. And in fact, we could view this page right now. And let's see what it shows us. What I believe we have it set up is it has a photo, and then it has something about click here to register for Thailand. That's, I think, how we set it up. Then you have the application Thailand, which I believe will show, yeah, you've got, this is where we actually have the actual, all the information that somebody would need to read, and then there's actual form that they complete. So we actually want, every renewal will have a main page. For instance, it'll say, it'll be the Honduras page. But then we want to have an application Honduras page. So we want to set it up that way so that we can make changes. We can always kind of leave. The reason we did that too is the Thailand page, we want to go to the Thailand page and indicate that it's that the registration is closed. However, in the event that we have somebody that's a late applier or somebody that's with an exception, and we want to send them to this, we could send this privately to them, and it still exists out there. So what you see here is this is the comebeforewinter.org/apply Thailand, and the previous page, I believe, was just, yeah, it was the comebeforewinter.org/renewals/Thailand, because again, it's under the renewals section here. So what we want to focus on first is we have a Honduras page similar to what we have here as a Thailand page. Now, what we did initially was we created these images, and because we want you to take this over, here's what I would recommend you do. And you can change this up however you wish to do so. I'm going to recommend that you first is go to a page that's, oh yeah, I'm in the edit here. Let me go. Okay, now I'm in the dashboard. I'm at the Thailand page. So I don't want to go to the application Thailand. I want to go to the Thailand page. So I'm going to edit the Thailand page. And when you get to an edit page, there are 2 tabs to look at. And you'll see these as we build new pages and edit pages. This is the HTML. Every website, regardless of what it is going to run on some kind of HTML format for the most part. But the visual is what gives you kind of a look and feel, so you can kind of see what it looks like there on the screen, and it's to give you a better idea what it's going to look like. When you go to edit a page, I want to point out too that it doesn't work on the HTML tab, but when you're on the visual tab, right down here, and I'm kind of highlighting, there's these little lines that run diagonally. If you click those and hold those down with your, I'm holding it down with my left mouse, I can actually pull that window down so I can see it. I can pull it down pretty far. I don't know how far now, but let's just say I go down to here. That gives me a better window of what I'm seeing. Now you can see here that that looks very similar to what we want. What we're going to have is this is going to be our, what we want this to look like. What this looks like right now is what we want our Honduras page to look like. But obviously it won't say the application is closed. However, we do like the way that this is all set up, you know. So if we want to, we could do a couple different things. My recommendation is that you just copy this stuff over just like this and copy it. And then we're going to go back to our, once we got that copied, now we can go up here and type Honduras, search the pages that are out there, and it goes right to the one we want. Go over here to edit. And here, not under our HTML tab, but our visual tab, you can see that the window is already much larger. We can simply right click and paste in what we've got there. Now here's some formatting things. I like to center stuff most of the time. So right up here you have your bold and your italics and some of the things similar to what, if you're familiar with Microsoft Word. But this is our align left, center, and align right. I'm going to hit center here, and that should be good to go. We could even say that this application process will open by October 1st, 2010. Okay, we have an email address here, so that's good. So we update the page. Now, when we go, after we've updated the page, we can refresh our browser on our Honduras page, and now what happens? Okay, starting to make sense, starting to actually add content on there. So the application process will open by October 1st, 2010. If you have any questions, they can email. When they click on that, it can go directly to to the registrar. Okay, so that's how that process works. Now, let me show you something that I would recommend you do is put your cursor here at the front. You can see how it's blinking right there. I'm going to press my enter key to get a little space, and I'm going to put my cursor right above that. Notice that it's still centering, and if it doesn't, just click that center button. This is where in the past what we've done is had a picture there. Now what we did initially is set you up a picture and then put a date on it. Well, that's not necessarily, you don't have to do that. It's just what we chose to do. If you have the ability to do that, you can. You don't have to even put a picture, but I think it adds an element to it. So for this tutorial, what I did, and we'll leave it up there if you ever want to change it, you can. We're going to add a photo there and then add some information about the Honduras dates and stuff like that. So let's start off by adding a photo. So right up here where it says upload and insert, you see there that we've got 3 or 4 different options. This one here is add an image, this one is add a video, this one is add audio, and then this last one is kind of a catch-all. It says add media. This is the one I prefer to use, so I'm going to click that little starburst. Everything else kind of goes dark, but it pops up this little window where I'm adding media. Now at this point, what I want to do is select files because I'm going to add media from my computer. So what I'm looking for is some kind of photo that represents Honduras. If you've got a photo of somebody from Honduras or a beach scene or another renewal of something that you think, well, that represents that, you could put this in here. Now I'm going to select files because what I've done for this tutorial is I've created a little, bear with me, I've created a little folder and I've created a little Honduras flag. So I'm going to pull in this Honduras flag. And when I've done that, you can just ignore all this stuff here. And except when you get to the link URL. The link URL, I'm going to have it right now say none because I don't want the picture to link anything just yet. It's set to center, and I want it to be the full size, 390. That's a pretty good size. If you get to too big, you'll know right off the bat if it's too big or not. So there. Now, if I update my page, I go back to here. Now see what that looks like. Great. Now we're starting to get somewhere with this. So now what we can do is, this is where we want to add a little bit of information about Rwanda's the renewal date. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor right at the end of this picture. You can see it kind of flashing right there. I'm going to press enter. The cursor moved over here. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to put on here something about the date. Now I've got a reference over here, so I kind of want to put this information here. So what I might do, actually I've got one. Here we go. This is a good example of something. Now here's something that I received from the registrar that has all this information. Now this information is sent to me in a Microsoft Word document. So what I like is all this information right here is very good, so I can just copy this. Now here's the tricky part. When you're working with websites and Microsoft Word do not like each other. Best way to say it is, when you're dealing with Microsoft Word, as much as you don't think that there's a lot of formatting and coding, there actually is built into Microsoft Word a lot of coding and formatting stuff that really conflicts with what you're trying to do with HTML and website stuff. So you don't want to just simply go in there and paste in. If I was to paste in here, that's something you do not want to do. I cannot stress enough. Don't ever copy and paste directly from Word. So let me show you what you could do. The WordPress gives you a neat little tool. So I'm going to put my cursor back here. And right up here, there are two options. I'm going to talk about this one here. It actually says paste from Word. You can use that. I've found that sometimes it's a little tricky, but the one that works the best is simply this. Paste as plain text. What that means is, by pasting in as plain text, WordPress, which again is the system that we use for the website, WordPress strips off all of the coding and the formatting that is built into Word. So it strips it off and just pastes it in as simply text only, and that's what you want. So if I click that, a little window pops up and it says I can use Control-V, or if I wanted to, I can even right-click my mouse and hit paste. Now I've got the text in there. We're going to take a little bit of work to format it like we want, but I can actually insert that now. Click that. There we go. Now I might want to, if I centered it, that might look okay. If I don't want to center it and I want to tab it over, I'm just hitting that little tab thing. It just depends on what you are comfortable doing. I kind of like the centering, so I'm going to move everything kind of back, and then I'm going to hit center. Okay, and then that way all of the information is here. What I might do is have the information like that bolded. You know, it's kind of nice to have. I don't need to know the who, what, when, where thing, but where it's at, and there we go. And I'm just hitting that, just a real easy formatting. Now I'll go over here and update the page, and I'm going to go back to my Honduras page, and I'm going to see what happens here. This is better than what it did earlier. This is great. So right now you've got where it's located at, what time, you know, what the date is, and this thing here that says the application process will open. Eventually, what we'll do is create an application page, which I'll show you in another tutorial how to do that. And once we're ready, then we'll go back here to this section here, and we'll probably just simply type this to say apply here. And when we do that, we will link that over to the application page that we set up for Honduras, which is not set up yet, so I don't want to do it. So I'll put it back the way I had it, and then we should be good to go now. So I'll update the page to make sure everything stays as is, and we'll just double check to make sure that looks good, and if it does, then I think we're good with that tutorial. That sounds great. I'll be back with another tutorial later.